Good morning. I am well. Good morning, everybody in chat. Happy Saturday. I really do. I think her and I could have been friends and gone bowling. Oh my gosh. Well, she was an innovator and she did a lot for coin collecting in the US Mint. Yeah, I don't know. She just was a strong woman. And she liked to gamble. Did. Aw, hi, Bill. Miss you too. I know where to find. Good morning, Siren. Siren decorating the chat. Yeah. She gives the best virtual hugs.
Oh, I had myself on mute. Nobody could hear me. Good morning. Hi, folks.
What? Really?
I did.
No sound.
And
Oh my
people were
gosh.
saying no sound. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Azure.
So they heard me just
Um,
talking to myself.
yeah, and they're like, Paula has lost it. Uh-huh.
What
Um,
else new?
well, you guys missed a hell of an intro. I'm sorry to say that. I'm going to have to start all over. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Frosty. Today, we're going to be talking about SMS sets. And if you know what an SMS set is, then I'll probably show you a little bit of information you didn't know. But if you don't know who it is, you're in for a treat. And in order to understand the SMS sets, you have to know somebody by the name of Ava Williams. Now, we're going to be talking about
In
Ava,
Adams.
or Ava Adams, excuse me. And you heard all of a sudden, out of nowhere, mysteriously, Paula talk about why she liked somebody. Had no idea who it was. Oh
Just
man,
talking about myself.
talk about an absolute, yeah.
Like
So
every
Frosty Bloopers 101. Here we go. All
That's
right.
funny.
Yeah, it's all good. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for everybody for being here. So again, as I've said before, we're going to be talking about, I just realized the menu was showing. Let's pull this up because
Farm
it's
dog, thank
showing.
you for my presents. You treat me better than I deserve. I was telling Frostbite, I was so excited to get those coins. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. So excited. I sat and I put them all in flips. Anyway, thank you very much. You're the best. I wish I could repay you.
So you want to tell everybody before I start what he sent you?
Okay. I don't know if he wants me to, but I'm gonna. I got some of the new dimes and I got some of the new Mayflower quarters.
That's awesome.
And they're beautiful. I was saying how it's amazing to me how they were able to make that dime with that design strike up as beautifully as it did on such a small canvas.
Well, if you can, pull it up, show your camera. We'll pull that up here in just a little while.
I
We'll
don't
show,
have I don't have my
oh, no worries. It's all good.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't have
no
it.
worries.
Um,
I went to the bank yesterday and asked them if they could start keeping an eye out. I went to another one and they said, we're not
yeah.
reserving anything if we see it, but I'd love to see it.
Okay, hang on. I will go get my microscope.
Yeah, so I'll get started. We'll kind of walk through this and then whoops. We'll walk through this and then kind of go through uh and see that here in just a few moments. So the SMS set, right? And this is something that if you really want to learn about the SMS set, you have to learn about the person who that is a lady by the name of Eva Bertrand Adams or Bertrand, excuse me. Now, this lady was not your typical bureaucrat, right? You think about the U.S. Mint and what they had to be. This lady was pretty extraordinary. So for all the stackers out there, this is a killer stacker story because she was a product of the American West. She was born in 1908. She had been born in a high desert mining camp in a town called Wonder, Nevada. And her dad moved her from one gold location or a silver location to another. They just bounced from different camps. They went to Fairview, Aurora, Thompson. And in these places, the money wasn't fiat. It wasn't the coinage of the U.S. There were different reals and things floating around, but that's not what it was. It was the metal that was the money of many of these mining camps. You bought, sold, and traded in physical metals. And she grew up in that environment. So she really did understand the economy of a metal-based system. Now, why would that matter? Because later in her tenure, she would be called upon to help the mint in a time in which some of the legal structure, some of the things that happened, could have crushed the United States Mint. And so this lady wasn't just somebody who later on kind of realized what was going on. She was extremely smart and lived in Reno, Nevada, and graduated from the Reno High School at the age of 14. So we're talking about a prodigy, somebody who really understood the system, somebody who really understood education. She was very smart, but that didn't end there because she went on to conquer her advanced degree, a master's in English from Columbia University, a bachelor's from law from American University, a master of law from George Washington University. Anybody knows anything about that is good at Washington University, understand the rarity of it, then it's a really good school. She did really good, but she didn't stop there. She went on to get her doctorate in jurisprudence, which is she became a judge from American University. And so because of all of her knowledge, she was later appointed to practice before the United States Supreme Court. And this is a time when she was kind of a rarity because during this time frame, it was the ladies who were there, not to be derogatory, but it was often cocktail parties and secretarial pools, right? That's where the ladies were in this realm. And she was not. She was outside. She was making impacts. And during this time frame, as she was going through her school and getting all of her degrees, she was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Pat McCarran. Pat McCarran was a senator, the young senator, formidable man from Nevada, really understood her worth and brought her on. And for many, many years, she was known throughout the Senate as the senator's senator, because there wasn't anybody in the area that could explain what was happening, the process, the structure, the flow, the build out. And she actually trained many other senators' private aides. She just really understood the entire process. And then on September 28th, 1954, Senator McCarran would collapse during a speech or right after giving a speech in Hawthorne, Nevada, and passed away. And this was a huge blow for her. What's really strange about this story, though, is that often stories of someone's passing bring opportunity for somebody else, and that's exactly what happened to Miss Ava Adams. And so one of the things that I think was absolutely phenomenal is she continued to fill roles for some of these senators. And one day, walking down a hallway, President John Kennedy tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Ava, let's go get a burger." And he walked her to the Senate cafeteria and said, there are some things coming down. You understand what's happening with a silver shortage. You understand what's happening with silver squeeze. And I should have been showing my screen real quick, but apologize. Hold on just a second. There we go. I kind of blew this off. But he said, hey, we got a silver shortage. We got some situations going on. And I'm afraid that if we don't do something, we might lose the United States. I'm not going to point you as just the director of the United States Mint. I need you to save it. And he was pretty adamant about the fact that he knew that if anybody could do it, it was her. And so because of that, there were some decisions and some choices that were made to really kind of press forward and move the United States Mint. But she came into a lot of problems when it came time to take tenure. She ran into a number of problems. And one of those problems was that she, hold on, I'm sorry. I am having issues with my monitors. One of the issues was that when she took charge, they were doing the 1965 laws that was removing the silver from the dimes and the quarters. And so there was sentiment out in the general public. They knew what was going on. And so all of a sudden they started trying to hoard these things. And she knew this. And so in order to prevent people from doing what they called Operation Scorched Earth, it sounds like something you'd have in a battlefield. She actually helped to implement some of the things that we know that caused the SMS set. And so the SMS set obviously is going to be something that's a little bit different in that the surfaces and stuff are different. So I'm going to stop with my segment, and Paula, you understand these. But before we do that, I'm going to switch the screen here, and that is the new dime.
Is the new dime. Yes, it is.
And I've got to tell you, I like the photos of it, but it just looks really good. It's very nicely done.
Oh, it's very well done. Yeah. Well done. It is. The quarter is also, I'm sure you love the quarter because it's got your favorite on.
Oh, yeah, that's a beauty. I love that thing.
It is very pretty. Very pretty. Well done, U.S. Mint.
And it is a callback. And I mean, obviously, that is the Mayflower Compact, one of the most amazing documents in history. I've done a number of discussions about that. But you know me and my ships.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, man, so real quick, and I hate to kind of deviate. I want to get back to the other discussion, but
go.
Bill 457 says, I want the silver version of those. And
I do too.
Oh my gosh, that price though.
Whoa. I know.
$235 or something like that.
I just can't. What I probably will end up doing, because really, I really just want the dime. But what I probably will end up doing is waiting for a while and then buying the individual ones that I want in silver, because people will break the sets open and have them graded or whatever, and I probably will just
They're gonna piecemeal you a set. Yeah. Yep. I'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys wanted to see it, so there it is. That's the it's the new dime. And again, a number of people have found these. This has been posted for a long time. People have found rolls and stuff like that already. So this isn't new news, but it is a beauty piece.
It really is.
Watch your pocket change. They're out there.
Really is.
Yep. A good looking piece. All right. Well, let's get back into the SMS set. So Paula, let's talk about what makes the SMS set for 64 or 65, 66, and 67 different than the other ones. So let's talk about what was going on during this time.
You mean the 40% silver or the finish, or what do you want to talk about? All of
Finish,
that?
strike, what they changed, why they'd removed stuff. So let's just kind of break down that conversation a little bit. So
Okay.
first off, the SMS
Silver
sets
hoarding.
but they don't look the same,
No,
right? Well, let's talk
no.
about why the surfaces are different, right? Let's talk about what's going on there.
So so they did the same thing pretty much that they did with proof coins. They specially prepared the dies and specially prepared the planchets, but SMS coins were struck only once, as opposed to proof coins that were multi-struck. Usually, like 3, 4, 5 times they strike a proof coin, but SMS coins were only struck once. So that's why if you find a set that has cameo coins, those were usually within the first, I guess probably like 50 or something struck. Very early strikes. The cameo finishes on them wore out, and they weren't prepared to be cameos like proof coins are. But the first several that were struck oftentimes had cameo appearances, proof like.
So these are not proofs; they're proof-like.
Off
But so,
rims.
how would they? What would they have had to do to the finishes in order to get this to look like this?
So they polished the dies and they polished the planchets,
They do that for
and
the proofs, but
they were strong strikes.
so how do these differ from proofs?
Well, I just said proofs are multi-struck. SMS coins are struck once.
So were they just struck slower? What's the? I'm trying to help people understand.
They probably adjusted the distance and the pressures.
So a slower squeeze,
Mm,
or do you think they still went as rapid?
I don't know. I don't think they went as rapid because they didn't have to strike as many.
Right.
I think that is more that is adjusted more for mintage, the speed of the presses. I don't know that the ejection process was different, Luther. I think that they still used feeder fingers, but yeah, I'm not. You can. I don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. I mean, the mintages. I imagine the mintages are still high enough on the SMS sets that I can't imagine they would be like hand feeding or, you know what I mean, like individually feeding each planchet. But yeah. 67 is a better year. I don't know about that, Bill. It's a better year for me because that was the year I was born. So yeah.
I don't know which is the better strike. I don't know which one that you would.
I don't think
I think they're pretty much equal.
yeah, I think they're even.
So I am.
I don't know about the mintages now. If the mintages is less than 67, or I could check
Yeah.
on that.
Well, he's asking, is it? Yeah. I think that was more of a question. Yeah. Right. I think there should have been a question mark at the end of that. But yeah, I don't know that there's really one that stands out. 65, 66, 67. Now that kind of leads us to the next piece of that, right? Which is the 64. Now the 64 is a totally different animal. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the 64 was, because the 64 is the one that if you're going to hear any BS on, it's probably going to be this coin or this series of coins. And
No.
this, yeah, these are some amazing pieces, and these are some of the best strikes when it comes to circulation coinage ever, right? Like these things are just immaculate pieces. And so the reason I was asking Paula about the strike is because of the 64. See, we know some of the details of the 64, and that's here. So the whole idea but behind the 1964 prototype SMS set, or the SP set, is that there were only 15 to 50 of them. Very, very, very few. And almost all of them, if not all of them, were found in 1991 with the passing of Ava Williams in her private collection. Set aside because she didn't want them to get into, well, the story is she didn't want them to get into the hands of the general public. And I don't know whether that's completely accurate, but I can tell you that we know a lot about the coin itself. Now, Paula, before the stream, we were talking about the fact that there had been discussion that maybe all of them were sold to a single collector.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I believe that so they don't really know like the exact mintage of how many SMS 64 SMS coins were struck, or how many 64 SMS sets there were. But I believe that I think that all of the ones that Ava Adams had were sold to an individual collector, a single collector. I'm not positive about that, but I'm going off of what I remember from memory.
Okay.
I think it was in like 1990 or something like that.
Yeah, so 1991 is when they discovered them,
91.
and then
Okay.
they didn't stay very long. They auctioned pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's disclosed who they were actually sold to. I wasn't able to find anything. Somebody may know the name of that.
Hang on.
But again, I was looking more into the Ava Adams story because I wanted to know, hey, this person suggested this, and there's a lot of people who didn't like Ava Adams. There's a couple of different reasons. We can get into hypothetical and personal belief structure and everything else another time. I don't want to get into that today. But the one thing that was undeniable is she was a woman in a man's world. And she carried a level of authority and knowledge that was unsurpassed. So she absolutely was the right person to do this. Now, there was something, YouTube me says they were sold to me. No, they weren't. But hope you're doing well, bud. Let's see, $50. Oh, I'm trying to catch up on some of the conversations. I apologize. But let's go through this real quick. So earlier she said something most likely about the striking force. They made sure that they had an extremely strong strike, right? Really maximize the detailing and sharpness.
64
so these are
more than the other SMS. The 64 SMS coins were special.
Yeah. And so what I want to, and we'll talk about this again later. This is not the SP coins. Okay, and I'll show you a couple of slabs. They're not the same as the SMS. I've heard people say that they're not. They are different. And that's here. I want you guys to see this. The SP are not the same as SMS. So for those of you who misunderstand that,
all like trial strikes or special strikes or
yeah,
specimen strikes. I mean, they're, yeah.
yeah. And so understand that there is a significant difference. Okay, this is important. And this is what, again, Paula, multiple strikes versus a single strike, right?
Yeah.
Deep mirrored finish. They are reflective in the proof, but this wasn't reflective. They were just phenomenal satiny finishes.
Correct.
And it's that particular look that makes these things just fabulous. The sharp, distinct squared off rims, right? We've talked about that definition a number of times. Proof rims are nice, but these ones are amazing. And it all comes with that strong pressure, that strong strike. It really defines those rims. And then again, these, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I should just ignore chat because I want to answer their questions. Like,
we'll get there in just a second. I just want to go through this.
I know.
That's okay. And again, no mint mark. Now, no mint mark is something we'll get to in just a second. Let's go ahead and look at that chat. What were you focused on, Paula?
Oh, I was just, Luther asked a question. No, the SMS, the modern day uncirculated strike is not, first of all, the modern day uncirculated strike is done on a completely different type of press, different setup, everything. So it's not comparable. Also, to answer your question, there was a coin dealer named Lester Merkin that purchased some of the 64 SMS sets from Eva Adams' estate. Lester Merkin.
Mr. Merkin.
Lester Merkin. I knew that I'd seen it somewhere. I actually found an article. I'll post it.
Okay, cool.
I have so many things like in my bookmarks tab.
Well, and like I said, I focused so much.
I've read something before.
I focused so much on understanding who Ava Adams was. I really wanted to bring. That was where the real research of this topic is around Ava Adams. Because again, folks, a lot of people say that, well, you know, she did this. Folks, she was one of the most intelligent females that I have ever read about. Like, this lady was just brilliant. And I want to make sure that I pass this on because she understood more about money, like the real aspect of money, than most. And she really was trying to prevent hoarding. She was really trying to do those kind of things. And so was this questionable? I mean, you can take it from any vantage point you want to. The fact of the matter is, we don't have an affidavit from her saying anything about it, right? Experimental strikes, test strikes, pattern coins, those things are historical. They happen all the time. Why chastise one and not the other? So,
well, and it's possible. There's another theory that these were done for presentation sets. You know, to oh gosh, I
honor the senators.
Well, no, to memorialize the ending of the 90% silver, and probably to give out to dignitaries or whatever. That's probably one of the reasons why they don't know how many exact sets were made, because some of them probably were given out. She didn't have all of them. Some of them probably were given out, maybe to Mint employees or, you know, well, I don't think we'll ever really know because there's no archives, there's no like documentation. So,
well, and again, that is not anything that's new.
No,
they've done that. They've done that and made medals and all sorts of stuff for people. Yeah,
you know. So,
which, okay, so you bring up a good a good point. That name,
Mhm.
a lot of people think that Ava Adams was the first female. She wasn't. She was actually the second female director. Um, and I slipped up with a name, and I'll say it Goodacre this time,
Glenna.
so I can
Glenna
remember. Yeah, well, just remembering, because the other one took us down a whole nother
Longacre.
path. So it's like, no, 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 no. Let's get this right. But yeah, so again, she was the second female min director, and again, just a brilliant lady. So what I want to do is I want to get back over to here and let's start talking about some of the numbers. And again, we talked about there being 50 to 50 sets, but the bottom line is you really just don't know, but it's not going to be a very high number. And why does that matter? Paula, why does that
What?
matter?
Why
Why does
does
that
what
matter?
matter? How many
That the,
that were out there? Because you probably will never, ever, ever find one and change.
regardless of how many social media you post or posts you see from other
Please.
people, okay,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to find the 64 SMS from the Piggly Wiggly. Okay, it's not going to happen. You're not going to find it in an HEB. You're not going to find it in an Albertson. You're not going to find it in a Kroger store. Um, I think in the entire history of these, there's been maybe a quarter and a penny found. Is that what you said?
It's and like I said, some of this stuff, like it's possible I could have just dreamt it, but I'm pretty sure I read that a couple were found, and I think one was a cent and one was a quarter. Um, but like I said, don't quote me on that. But we were talking about how like they know of the sets, but I think that more individual coins were struck than were put in sets. So, but yeah, the odds of you're probably more it's you have a better chance of finding an 82D small day copper cent or a 43 copper than an SMS. But you know, every once in a while, a TikTok video or you know
Yeah,
whatever that
exactly.
dude's name is comes up, and I get a run of questions about, hey, did I find, is this a 64s? Look, it looks like there's a teardrop under the 4. Yeah, and I know that when that happens, there's like been like a TikTok video released or something,
Well, yeah,
or
and
it's an
again,
old one that finds its way into the algorithms.
yeah, well, and Bill's like, you never know, and
Well,
there's a
monkeys could
difference.
fly out of my butt too, Bill. You never know.
Well, there's a difference between impossible and improbable.
Right,
Um,
right.
but the improbable is that, it's very likely that you're never going to find one of these. Why is that? Simply because if they were given to dignitaries, these things are going to be in registry sets. Okay. And I'm not saying that every single one of these is going to be accounted for, but you can pretty much guarantee that a majority of these are going to be accounted for. They're going to be in registry sets. They're going to be with some of the big people.
Yes.
No, it's a great thing, right? And so, not chastising you at all, Bill. It's a great discussion to have because these are the questions that people come back and say, and you know, it's good to understand what the reality is, and that is that you know, flip wings, unable to fly. Luther, come on. Um,
Oh, brother.
but
Everything
yeah,
you know,
it's
you learn.
understanding the reality that you probably won't find one of these. But what I do want to do, and no, I'm not going to talk about one aspect of this today. I've actually got another episode. I'm going to do a video and I'm going to talk about what I believe one of the number one mistakes that people make in coin collecting is. I'll give you a little taste of that with this particular coin. Remember, these are not the SP sets. They're the SMS sets. And so the values of these are significantly higher. The SMS sent in 67 sold for $19,200. Okay, great number. The problem is that in the last few years, there's been 2 that showed up in 68. And those went for $75,000.
He's talking about the grade, you guys,
The
not the
grade.
year.
Yeah, the grade. Sorry, the grade. Thank you for the clarification, Paula. I didn't even think about the year. Okay, so the grade. So why does that matter? Okay, because folks, when you see, now Paula, you might know where I'm going with this really quickly. You may already know. When you see population reports on NGC, PCGS, CAC, know that in some of these rare instances, that could be the same coin 2 or 3 or 4 times. So just because there is a population of 2 doesn't mean somebody didn't play the crack and resubmit game. Hoping
and the odds
for
are
that next
that's
one.
exactly what happened.
That is very much the likelihood. Because when we're talking about this, that is the graded population, that's true. But again, you can't have an MS68. You cannot have an MS68 or a Proof 68 or an SP68 unless it's graded. You can't have one raw. You can assume or assess, but until it's graded by that company, you can't do that. Jack Riley, what's up? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because oftentimes what happens is when it's a coin, especially when it's a coin like that, where one grade bump can be, thousands of dollars difference. People will oftentimes crack it out, resubmit it, crack it out, resubmit it, crack it out, resubmit it.
I'll give you a great example.
A bump in a grade.
I'll give you a great example.
And they
67.
They don't report it to the grading companies, or the grading companies just don't bother to adjust the population numbers. Or they'll grade it, they'll send it to NGC and they get, one grade and then they crack it out and they send it to PCGS and PCGS grades it. So NGC still has a population of 1 and then PCGS has a population of 1, but there's actually only one coin. It's the same coin crossed over.
Yeah, and this happens a lot, right? And this is not something, so when people talk about, well, the absolute mintage, we don't know. You can't look at the graded coins and get an absolute mintage. Sorry.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
Albert Clark, thank you for subscribing. Drunken Monkey, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you guys. Enter down in chat. Let me know where you guys came in from. Where did you see this? Was it in your feed or did somebody share it out? If they shared it out, put their name in chat. Let's thank them. Here's a great example of this. We're talking about the 64 SMS quarter. Okay, you want to talk about the crack game? Let's talk about the crack game. And as Azure says, say no to crack. That's absolutely true. The 67 grade of the SMS quarter. Okay, and MS68 or PS60. I can't remember what that one's called.
SP?
What's the SP68?
Which one are you talking about for?
The 64 SMS. What's the designation on that one?
Let me see what. So let me see what PCGS, because PCGS and NGC, the different grading companies oftentimes use a different.
Yeah, and I can't remember which one's which. I always get that messed up. Anyway, at the grade of 67, the quarter's worth $24,000.
SMS.
Okay.
So special strike, SMS.
Special strike.
So probably SP.
Okay.
Probably SP. Yeah.
So in SP67, it's a $24,000 coin. Pretty good price, right? But bump that one grade, just one grade.
Right.
And it's a $35,000 coin. That's an 11,000 difference.
156,000 in SP68. Sold in 2019 at Stack's Bowers for 156,000.
Oh, okay. So I was off a little bit.
Kennedy half. Which denomination are you looking at?
Oh, no, I was looking at the quarter.
Okay. I'm
No,
looking at the half.
I was about to go to the Kennedy. You jumped ahead of me. No, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all good. But the point is the entire set is like $250,000.
Yeah.
Okay. It's extremely rare. It's extremely expensive. You're not going to find one of these, but the numbers are crazy. But in the quarter, just in the quarter, between 67 and 68, it's an $11,000 difference. And so people who have these registry sets will often play that crack out game. They break the thing out very carefully. They very practiced hands. They know what they're doing. They just don't take a hammer and bing, 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 bing. So very practiced hands, separate it, take it, and then resubmit it. So again, the population reports sometimes yield bad numbers, and you just have to be aware of that. But an $11,000 payday when you're paying $250 to get the coin slabbed and regraded, that's child's play if you win. And so people will do this over and over and over again, hoping to find somebody that gives them that grade. And we know people who have done it and it's paid off.
Yeah.
Because we have friends, Eric Beyer and Chuck Daughtry were visiting a friend of theirs, and he was going through, and you remember when they went down there and seen the good doctor and they were sharing some of his collection?
Oh, Brian's? Yeah.
Yeah. And he picked up the thing and I was like,
Adam Chambers has done it.
I asked Brian, I said, hey, how much money's in that thing? And he's like, oh, I don't know, 400,000 or 500,000. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. And so again, we've seen people do this. We've seen people who know what that is. And there's definitely things out there. So be careful looking at population reports and thinking that they're ironclad numbers. Okay. They're skewed. They're not right. They're meant to give you a general overview, not a very specific account of exactly how many there are. That is a misnomer that a lot of people make, and I want to make sure that that's very clear. Morning, Check. Morning, Pedro. How you guys doing? Hope you two are doing well.
Yeah, just like when you look up surviving populations, those are just educated guesses, you know.
Edumacated. Indeed.
Which much of what is in numismatics and what you learn are educated guesses.
So I got a trivia question in chat. I'm going to give something away. I'll probably give a silver dime away. It's a 1 or a 2. That's it. A 1 or a 2. That's all you got to answer. If you're right, I'll pull from the list of names, and if you're not, well, then I'll pull from the list of names anyway. True or false? A 1 or a 2? 1 or 2? 1 for true, 2 for false. 1 for true, 2 for false. Was Eva Adams admitted into the Hall of Fame? The A&A Hall of Fame. See Happy Chapper, member for 29 months. Thank you so much, bud. I appreciate you, Mr. Chap. Theories. Yes, there's lots of theories. Gary says I might have one of these from my wife's grandfather. Maybe. That would be interesting. What did your wife's grandfather do? And everybody's saying 2. Mike Noodle says 4. What's up, Mike? How was the coin show?
4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
Well, folks, if you guys haven't seen the Coin Show podcast and seen some of the interviews they've been doing, you need to get over there. A lot of great interviews coming from the. You guys in Baltimore? Is that where you guys are at?
They're at the Whitman.
Paul, are you still there?
And I believe it's in Baltimore.
Paula?
What? Hello?
You guys hear her? I can't hear her anymore.
Hello? Hello? Testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So I'm only seeing one. Oh, you're home. Okay, outstanding. Paula, I can't hear you anymore.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, they hear me.
You guys can hear her? Oh, that is so weird. That happened once
Let
with
me talk about it. Can I talk about him now?
happened once with Eric.
Can you hear me now?
Well, I can see you talking.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing.
Try talking.
Hello?
Okay, hold.
Morning, Tiger.
Loud and clear. Okay, so it's on my end. I got it.
Turn up your hearing aid.
Huh? Try and connect. Oops, hold on. All right,
No,
so this was these were the coins that I was talking about. There's the Kennedy half that I was going to talk about.
well, you gotta answer the question you asked first.
Well, I had some technical issues.
Was she inducted into the ANA's Hall of Fame?
She was. She was. She was inducted into the ANA Hall of Fame. Tiger Stacker, $5 super chat. Don't worry, Paula. He must
Only
think.
one person put true.
Yep, and they're going to win the silver dime, and that
David
was
Chung.
David Chung. David Chung, email me! ! Email.
She was inducted into a lot of things.
Yeah, brilliant lady. Absolutely brilliant lady.
So here's an example of how smart she was. When they first decided to do clad coinage, she took some clad blanks to the casino to see if they would work in the machines.
You know what makes me wonder? I saw that in some of the stuff that I
And
was
they
doing.
did.
The question that I have is, did she do it with the approval of the casino?
Probably not. She probably just went in and, played her hand in the what is it called? The one-armed bandit? I mean, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, but it makes me
Pretty
think that she
smart.
would have had to have talked to somebody about it, because that's illegal.
Well, I don't think she cared.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to
I don't
see.
know if she asked or not.
I'm
Look,
pretty sure she would have had to
she
have
was the
done
U.S.
something.
Mint director.
Well, but yeah,
Yeah.
but remember that the U.S. Mint director has worked with Las Vegas for a long time for
Yeah.
doing coinage and stuff like that. The Kennedys, the half dollars, the Benjis, peace dollars, Morgans, right? Eisenhowers. A
Well, she was
lot
also
of money went to Vegas.
part of the whole silver dollar hoard. She was part of that whole transaction, selling off that whole silver dollar hoard.
So the silver dollar hoard we're talking about also goes by another name. That name is?
Binion?
Oh, isn't that the
I don't know.
GSA?
Oh, I don't know if it was the GSA.
So
Probably.
what
It probably
happened with
was because
that?
it was the government hoard. So it
Yeah.
was the
So what
treasury
happened with
hoard.
that
Yeah.
is that uh, when she was going through 64, 65, when they issued the executive
GSA,
order, they were going through and found they were selling a bunch, and there were like 24 million silver dollars that was being done. And she issued the release of an additional 3 million because they weren't holding the silver certificates, right? Because they had ended the silver, so people were bringing them in, and they had this cache of silver that they had to maintain at all the reserves, so that when people turned in that silver certificate, they got their silver. And so when that program ended, she suggested that they go through, they inventory all of the reserves and find out how many were left. And then it took a number of years. I mean, it took almost a decade before they finally, I think it was 72, somewhere in that time frame, that they actually went through and started to sell the additional ones that they had found kind of hidden at the bottom of some of the vaults.
I think that's when is it 190? We talk about this all the time, and I can never remember 19030 or that was.
I'm terrible with the remembrance of that, and I'm
was
sure Mike and those folks are tired of
like a
me
key
asking
date
that
until
question.
all of those coins came to light.
Yeah, and I think it was the 93 or the
1903.
03, yeah, the 1903.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a multi-$1,000 coin, expected to be
Yeah.
one of the most rare of all of them. And then this hoard was released, and there were just tons of them, and it totally crushed the value. They went from
19030, yeah,
thousands and
Jeff Riley
thousands of
says,
dollars.
"Yay!" I remember.
But this is another example of something that I'm going to be talking about in the next video that I'm dropping. Well, it's not the next video that I'm dropping. Next video I'm dropping is on platinum, but the one following, because we're going to be looking at numismatics as an investment. Some of the things you have to be leery of with discoveries, because discoveries can crush the value of a coin. And so why it's good to have numismatics, why it's good to have pre-33,
Yeah,
especially right now, pre-33 is a really good thing to be stacking if you're doing it. But the potential problems with stacking some numismatic items if you're doing it for investment. So we'll be talking about that later.
Yeah, so it wasn't the GSA hoard then. If it was.
No, but it tied, that whole thing tied, because when they stopped in 65, she's the one that authorized the initial selling of those.
Okay.
Right. And so in 65 or later that year, who replaced her? She ended, when did she end?
Who, Ava Adams?
Yeah, when did she end the mint director?
1969.
So it was the guy following her that had put a stop order to the selling of those, the trading of those. That program lasted a while. There was quite a while where you had to turn in your silver certificates. And then after that was the release of these 3 million or so coins that she had in one of the vault. But she had ordered the review of all the other ones. My understanding is that she had done that. But it took like 6 years, 5 years. Hold on. 64, the program ended in 68. So 4 years for them to find the additional GSA hoard coins. But she's the one that started that review.
Wow. Catcom.
Yeah. I'll go back through and do some more research and find out exactly the lineage of that. I know there was a gentleman who'd put a stop order in and basically required that, what have you found? And then they found they had these additional 2.9 million coins. And that's what made up the GSA.
I give you guys a fun little trivia question that you guys can use. A fun fact. I probably have told you guys before, but all 40% Kennedy half dollars circulating business strike, 40% Kennedy half dollars from 65 to 70. No matter what the mint mark was, we're all struck in Denver, or no mint mark. All of the business strikes, so we're struck in Denver.
Regardless of mint mark.
Yeah, so the no mint mark.
Or no mint mark,
and the Denver mint mark. They were all business strike 40%, $10.50 were struck in Denver.
So that little piece of trivia draws us into the last portion of this, which is the no mint mark coins. Folks, out of all the videos that I see on YouTube, I can't tell you the thousands of videos that I find about the no mint mark coins.
No mint mark is normal unless it's
from 65,
right.
66, and 67, as Paula just said, it is a normal occurrence. Okay, 65, 66, 67, it's a normal thing not to have a mint mark. Now, there are some, but most of them are proofs. There are only a couple that were business strike. One of them is the 82.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about the 82.
82 dime.
Indeed. So here's the thing. We know where a majority of those were offloaded. And many people found them at, was it a drive-in movie theater?
It was an amusement park.
Amusement park, yeah. And so we know the general area where a majority of those coins were found. And when you talk about that, I mean, we're talking about however many bags or whatnot were sent to that area. But that's where a majority of them were found in Ohio. Thanks, Mike.
Oh,
and so there are situations you could find a 1982 no D, no mint mark business strike potentially in circulating coinage. It's going to be hard to find, but you could find one. That's one of the few you actually could find. But 65, 66, 67, every single one of them is. Here's the deal. It is so true that if you find one with a mint mark, it's most likely counterfeit.
But the SMS sets were struck at the San Francisco assay office. The business strikes were struck in Denver. And then the 64 proofs were struck in Philadelphia.
Paula, did I ever tell you why I like Libertads?
Well, no.
So I like Mexican silver, right?
Yeah.
But I've recently tried to find Mexican silver in the little cards. Because I like silver, essay.
That's funny.
There's a better conversation for that joke, but I've been waiting for that one for a while. So, but yeah, so again, no mint mark. And again, folks, this is one of those things. Out of all the videos I see a lot, and I mean a lot of misinformation with the no mint mark coins. And everybody's like, oh man, you can find. Mike's like, oh, you know, when Mike groans, it's a bad joke.
It's a bad joke.
Because he's my dad joke brother.
There's two different variations also, you guys, on the 82 business strike no mint mark. There's a weak date and a strong date, or a weak strike and a strong strike. But you can find those. Those you can find in circulation. That's the only way you're going to find them. Unless you buy one already graded. Because they didn't have mint sets in 82 and 83.
Say that one more time.
I said they didn't have mint sets in 82 and 83. So the only way you'll find an 82 no mint mark is in circulation. I believe. I don't think any of them were ever found in the souvenir sets.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I'd have to look that one up.
Mike may know. I don't know.
Yeah. 5283 no mints.
82, 83. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's one. There's also The 70S. Most of them are San Francisco. 70S,
The
72S,
proofs.
the
Proof.
proofs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there's only a couple that are business strike. What's another
I
one?
think there's only one.
Is there? Is it the only one?
Yeah, I think it's the
Okay,
only
so
one.
the 82 Noti is the only business strike. Otherwise, they're proofs. And again, it's just, I don't want to necessarily call it disinformation. It's just misinformation. People just don't know. And we just want to help clear the air with that because, again, the sheer amount of videos
I think
that's
there's
out
a
there.
couple quarters or half dollars in the cherry picker's guide where the mint mark is struck through grace, but it's not. And why they included that, don't ask me, but they did. But it wasn't omitted like the 82 dimes.
So, Bill,
Sorry.
I've actually done one on no mint marks, and I think I documented almost all of them. Go find that video and watch it. I think I tell
I
you
was
what they all are.
reading the information paper that was in the 65. What was in the 65 SMS set? You lost me, Bill. Information paper that was in the 65. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm lost.
Not sure. Wasn't tracking that.
Maybe he's got a lag.
Maybe. Yeah. Just
I don't know.
oh, you know what? I've got to share something. Hold on, just
Okay. Sharing is
and you
caring.
know what? I knew this.
Sharing is caring. Tells you where they were struck at. The SMS coins were struck in San Francisco. Business strikes were struck in Denver. Which paper that was in the 65? Yeah. 64 proof and the 64 Philadelphia. The 64 SMS was also struck in Philadelphia. The proofs and the SMS set. Don't ask me why I retain this stuff. I don't know. I can't tell you when my grandkids' birthdays are, but
well, I always
if you are not friends with me on Facebook, I will not know when your birthday is.
I always called myself the purveyor of useless information too. I remember a lot of
Totally.
weird facts that really seem to have no bearing to anything, and they come up in conversation all the time. That's why I love trivia. I know a lot of weird stuff about stuff that I have no idea how I know.
We must have a delay because stuff I've said is coming up later.
If you're looking at the YouTube side, there is a 15 to 20-second delay on my channel.
Okay. Yeah, I'm reading YouTube chat, and it's stuff that I've already talked about is coming up in chat.
Yeah, you've got like a 20-second delay, and I'm not sure why mine is so large. I've got to figure that out. Normally, it's like 8 seconds for most people, but mine's like 10 to 12 seconds. It seems like it. Maybe it's because of all the profanity that you use.
Probably because I'm a potty mouth. Right.
Oh, you see.
Just kidding, people. I try really hard not to curse.
Trying pretty damn hard.
I do.
No, you just.
No, I heard it. Damn.
So I want to show you guys something. So let me stop sharing that screen and share this screen instead. And I know I'm showing you guys. Okay. It's a dime.
It's a dime.
But guess what? Guess where that dime came from?
Denver?
It is Denver. But guess where that came from?
The bank.
This dime was handed from Paul Hollis to Mike Nodelman.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so he got his dime from the director of the United States Mint. He had a couple of them in his pocket and said, "Here, enjoy."
Wow, fun.
Yeah, I told him, I said, "Okay, dude, you need to." People are like, eBay. No, this is a pretty cool thing, and I told him, I said, you should do something nice with it because that's a pretty cool thing. Not very many
Well,
people get a coin directly from the director of the.
hopefully he put it in a flip and had him sign it.
Well, I mean, it's Mike, so I don't know. Did you do that, Mike?
Otherwise, you'd never know
Yep.
that it came from the mint director.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. I thought that
That
was
is
pretty
cool.
neat.
But not as cool as the ones I got from Farm Dog.
Farm Dog.
He's way more important
As yours, like, is that a dime in your pocket, or are you just happy to see
to
me?
me.
Well, I feel bad for the guy who thought he had a dime in his pocket.
So, Mike, did you change your mind at all? Are you okay with him now?
He
That's my
says it
question.
is in a flip.
Show the reverse, he says.
Oh, okay. Doo-doo-doo. There's the reverse.
Looks just like mine. They are pretty
Whoops.
coins.
Sorry, wrong one.
They are handsome coins.
Yep.
I love the eagle.
They're
About
good
time.
looking pieces.
Yeah. About time they brought that back. And Lady Liberty.
Yep. Neat
It's a
stuff.
really pretty depiction of Lady Liberty, too. I really like it. I wonder if the engraver used one of his family members as a model.
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
Would be a good question.
Who has the initial CAC?
CAC.
The
what?
designer.
Oh. CCAC?
No, the designer. The person who actually designed the coin.
No, I know. You said CAC.
Yeah,
CCAC.
CAC is the initials of the person who designed the coin.
Oh. I don't want to view my memories. Thank you very much. It's got to pop up. Let's see.
Trivia.
Yeah, that's a great question. Somebody's going to come up with the answer faster than I can. I can't believe they don't have that.
I'm trying to find the fact sheet on the US Mint. I can't find it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, here we go. Initials EA, ASO Andrews. And it doesn't have that.
Eric David Custer and Esau Andrew. But it doesn't
Esau
have
Andrews.
the CAC.
Is that on there?
Yeah,
Is that
it
on
is
the
on the
dime?
front.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? Kidding me?
Part of the rim, mint mark right of the profile, and copy trust just along with that. And the initials EA referring to Asa Andrews.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, Craig A. Campbell, Azure
Oh, there you
says.
go. Craig A. Campbell.
Bottom line, I want
Cool.
Paul Ellis to be
Thanks,
successful.
Tajir.
I do too. I want him to be successful too. I do. And I really, really hope that he reaches out and listens to us, the little people, his bread and butter. I really
Well,
do.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with the mint. What's going to happen with now that he has us in there. I know that Mike asked him a question regarding something like the W quarter program, and he kind of smiled and was like, I'm still learning what I can and I can't say. And so it leads me to assume that there might be something that they're doing. I'll tell you what my fear is, and I told Paula this ahead of time
No, Azure.
regarding the Liberty Bell. Remember the Liberty Bell coin?
I do.
I'm afraid they're going to do that in the auction.
I hope not. And I hope that because I know that Glenna, I know that Ventress discussed it. And then I have not heard anything since. We're talking about the Liberty Bell shaped coin that it's even in the CCAC. You can go back in the archives. You can look up the proposed designs of it and everything. So I know that it was discussed, and I don't know if they ever got congressional approval or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to know. So I've been thinking a lot about, about the costs of the items being sold this year. The uncirculated set, the proof sets. I think a lot of the reason why I think next year you're going to see the costs come down because I think that a lot of it had to do with this being a 1 year, design change. All the dies, none of the dies can be reused for multiple years. Everything had to be specially done for this year. All the dies, they probably had to do a lot of adjustments with the presses. Everything was just a 1 year thing. So I think that they had to adjust their costs accordingly. Dies are expensive to make. That's why they reuse them a lot. For multiple years. Won't accept the proof set in the packaging, except to.
I'm typing the answer to that right now.
What was the question?
Asking for a friend. He has a mint set that he wants to grade. Would you break them out or would you send them in all together? I would send them in all together. And the reason that I would send them in all together is if you try cutting them out, you could damage the coin. And what you're going to have to do is take like a little sticky note or something and indicate in the area, not on the cellophane, not on the coin, and something kind of indicate the mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever coin it is.
So that depends. I think that depends. I would not. So if I was just going for a high grade, obviously, if I'm going for a high grade, I'm probably going to send one out of a mint set because you're going to have your better coins come out of a mint set. Unless I wanted the entire mint set graded, I'm not sending in the entire mint set.
You're going to crack it. Yeah, well,
I'm going to cut it out. Like it's only in a cello.
Well, yeah, so I'm not talking about a proof set where they have to crack it open.
Yeah.
But they'll take it out of the cellophane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't crack it out. If it's in a hard proof set or something like that, it's definitely not. But you got to be really, really careful because if it's in one of those hard plastic cases, man, a slip of the vice grips or something, and you've scratched the hell out of that coin. So
I mean, I'm not saying like I wouldn't send any modern proof sets. I'm not paying for grading, but because they're all going to be 69s or 70s. I'd rather have it in the proof set.
Yeah, and
But
again, I'm going to be talking about soon. I'll be talking about what I feel is the worst mistake you can make as a collector.
yeah,
There's actually going to be a couple pieces to that. They'll all be discussed in the same live. I don't know when I'm going to do that. It might be tonight. It might not be, but I'll have to.
well, that's another horrible thing that these clickbait videos do, right? There's one particular person, and I'm not going to name his name. It might be a piece of furniture, but all of his videos he does about these expensive coins, he only shows graded coins. So all of his viewers believe that you're, for a coin to be valuable, you have to have had it graded. And that's horrible because and I discourage people, especially when you're new. Well, him too, but when you're new to the hobby, don't get into the grading game. Like, take some grading classes, look at graded, go to your coin dealer and just look at a bunch of graded coins. Like, I don't know. Grading is an art. Learning to grading coins is an art. And not everybody can be good at it. And if you're not good at it, it's going to be expensive and a very expensive lesson.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, you want to be really careful about
And if you want your coins in a slab, protected in a slab, buy some of the slabs. Like, you can from Wizard Coin Supply. I'm not an authorized dealer and I'm not promoting Wizard Coin Supply. I just use them a lot. You can buy the little slabs yourself.
Yeah, you can. And again, folks, remember, if you're watching for the first time, make sure you're smashing the like button. Please make sure there are 75 people in here. There are 63 likes. Appreciate that. But make sure you're sharing this stuff out. Let people know, because we were trying to give you the really good, best, solid information possible. But be careful with that, right? And we need to have some people on. I think that's going to have to be a future episode, talking about grading. Grading is going to be important. I think we need to have the discussion. But just like anything, the only way you're going to be able to do it is to actually practice it, right? Robert the Brew says Blue Ridge. I had a hard time getting a hold of him. I've tried to have him on a couple times, and he's busy. So, but we'll find some people. I mean, there's a lot of people. Adam's good. Chuck Daughtry's good. There's a lot of people that can come up and talk about this. I'll make the effort and start getting some people in here, and we can start talking about some grading. If that's something you want to do, put a 1 in chat. If you want me to bring somebody
Adam
up
a
to talk
long
about
time to be proficient in grading too. It took him a long time. And most of what he does are Lincoln cents and Franklin $half. But I mean, he's good at grading, but he's exceptional at grading Lincoln cents. But it took him practice, and looking at hundreds, if not thousands, of graded coins.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a labor of love, because it takes time, and you've got to read, and you've got to research and understand what's going on, and you have to look at a bunch of coins. And not only do you have to look at the coins, there's a trick about grading, and that is you have to understand the strikes within that year. You can't they're not all graded the same.
Yeah.
So you really have to understand what's happening during the time. It's an art form, folks. Grading it's a difficult thing.
It definitely is.
There's a couple coins that I can look at and go, yeah, maybe MS62, AU, whatever. I can get kind of close, but I can't tell you the differences between the year. And there was one, I want to say it was Mike and Matt or the ANA or somebody was doing a thing where they were talking about the various grades and they showed something. It looks like it's beat up. It doesn't look like it's a very high grade at all. But it's like MS62 and you're going like, oh my gosh, that's an XF coin. It's like the strikes were horrible for this year. That's actually a really good representation. Like Hennings, right? Finding a really good strike on a Henning. They're still mushy, but it's a really good strike. They fetch a little bit more money.
Jack Young found one in a collection he bought of counterfeit coins, and it's probably
Young
the
has
highest
found
grade,
two.
if not one of them.
Jack Young has found two.
Well, I'm talking about the high grade one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, really cool stuff. So, but if you want to know more about grading, and that's something of interest, again, I've seen a couple of people put one in chat. There's only a few people that have done it. And I'm not talking about becoming proficient at being a grader. I'm just talking about understanding what grading is, like basics.
Everybody should learn at least how, be moderately good at grading just for your own benefit to help you when you go to buy coins or when you go to sell coins.
Let's do this next week, Paula. Okay. Why don't we just go over the scale?
The Sheldon scale?
Yeah. Why don't we get images of coins in every grade? And I'll do the work on that. I'll find those. There might even be something
different grading standards too. Like the ANA has its old grading standard, and then there's new grading standards.
Why don't we pull that stuff up? Why don't we look at what the grading scale is so people can really understand what the grading scale is. We'll also include things like, what does UNC mean? What is MS? What does it mean to be MS 63 to 65? What does UNC details mean? So when they use a detail grade, what are details? What's environmental damage? Why don't we go over some of those things next week and just talk about like the terms of coin grading?
Yeah.
Can we do
that?
There's
something else going on next week, and I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Oh, it is. So St. Jude is going to be going on after our live stream.
I'm not sure what time they're starting.
Yeah, well, I think they're starting
I think so. I think it's, yeah.
I think it's 10. I think they're starting 10 Central.
Your time, 10 Central.
Yeah, 10 Central. So they'll be starting as we're ending. And then Mike and Matt, I believe, will be back from the Coin Show podcast. And again, if you're not watching the Coin Show podcast, this week they've put out a bunch of amazing interviews. Go over, check them out. But the Coin Show podcast usually follows me on Sundays. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have a couple of people on. We're going to have, Mike, are you still available to come on tomorrow? We're going to have Eric, Mike, Paula, and Jack Young.
I'm not sure if I'll be on or not tomorrow.
Okay, if you can't be here, it's not a problem.
Jack is going to be talking about a new...
We're going to say again?
I said, I know Jack is going to be talking about a new thing.
He is, but we're going to be talking about something from a totally different standpoint. And it's more of what drew us into the hobby.
Oh, okay.
And what kept us here. Like, why am I doing YouTube? What is it that drew me in? What brought Mike and what brought you or what brought Eric into the hobby? What made you stay? What is it the thing like? So for you, varieties and errors are a big thing, really understanding the minting process and really delving into that. But you've had some mentors that are top notch.
I sure have.
So you have been blessed with some infinite wisdom from some amazing people. Mike said he's in outstanding. And so to get kind of people just familiar with who's in the stream, who in the heck are you guys talking about? Because I want you guys to be able to understand the folks that come on the channel, the folks that Live Coin Q&A, Copper Coins, Coin Show podcast, Ancient Coins with Aaron Burke. There's so many, Greg Bennick, right? There's so many cool people that have passed through the Salivate Metal. There's so many neat people that have been in this community, have been on. Who are they? What have they talked about? So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then one of the things that Jack will mention is the coin and the research that he does and some of the stuff that's been going on. So it should be a fun episode tomorrow. It's going to be just chit chat. There's not really a topic other than that, but yeah, it should be a fun time. So what do you got going on tomorrow?
Nothing. I was just gonna sit in the chat because I knew that Jack had something he was going to talk about, and I'm really bad at interrupting. So,
well, just
I try not to. I'm trying to get better at it. I can't. My problem is I feel like if I don't say it right then, I'm gonna forget.
Oh no, I got you. Yeah, no problem at all. Check Stacker just gifted 5 memberships. Hey, folks, real quick. This sound that comes on when the new subscribers or new something done, I tried to turn that down. Is that better for you guys volume-wise?
I don't even hear it on StreamYard, so it must just be a YouTube thing.
Oh, okay. So I have, I've tried to turn it on to where it only shows up on my end. It's very, very, very faint on yours. If it's still too loud, because I've had a couple people over the last couple of weeks mention it to me, if it's still too loud for you, and if you're going, what in the heck are you talking about? Then I'm good. No problem. But I'm trying to reduce that because people have said something about it. So I want people to know if you see something or hear something on the stream that I can improve, let me know because I take that stuff seriously. But it should be fun. On my videos, I'll try to do a little education. Cool. Cash register. It's loud. Okay. I'm just going to turn that sound off. So easy peasy. The alert box has been muted, so that should not happen anymore. And again, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure that it's not overwhelming because people have said something. So I want to be good on that end. All right, folks. Well, hey, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. Tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of good information. You're going to learn a lot about the people that are a part of this hobby that really have you in their interests. They're really trying to move some stuff. Happy birthday, Luther. It's his birthday weekend. Hopefully, I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for everything that you do. And again,
happy birthday.
I did get the email regarding the coin, so I will get that out. If you have a package from me and it's waiting and you haven't seen it yet, send me a message. Let me know what it is. For those of you who have subscribed today, I want to thank you so much. We're at 7340, so thank you so much for all the subscribers. But do me a favor, share it out and let people know. Again, I want you guys to be aware of who you're working with and who you're dealing with. The information that comes from you, they're long and storied histories. So be here tomorrow. And then again, next week, we'll talk a little bit about the grading scale. And then I've got a surprise for you next Sunday. All right, folks.
Bye, everybody. Have a blessed
day. Take care.
Day.
Be well, be blessed, and we'll